Incremental routines. That will be the third video I react to from Terrance Wickman. And that is how he makes common notes in SuperMemo. For reference, he's a medical student, medical school student. He uses SuperMemo and other software. And that was updated 10 years ago. Let me read the... Oh, it's just this? This is a method I use to make manual notes in SuperMemo. Yes, he doesn't use incremental reading. He doesn't import any reading material. He does the reading outside, externally, and then creates the items, the flashcards, right away. He's using SuperMemo 15. So SuperMemo already had like 15 years with incremental reading features at the time of
Alright, I was doing these and I figured I might as well show how I make normal cards as well.
My mistake. 11 years. At the time of the recording, at the very least, more than a decade that SuperMemo had incremental reading features, but he's just using items if it was Anki.
So I'll start off with a new one, or one that I already have an image that I want to put in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and link it. Select registry member, and I called it coagulation. Sorry, a text message. Yeah, I called it
There's no need to scroll manually, it's alphabetical order. But you can start typing here to filter. And if it happened that the name you're looking for, it's not the start of the name, you can use the search. So it doesn't matter in what place it is in the string.
procoagulation and this one right here. So
there's no need to select this. This checkbox is to then do a subset of the selection that, hey, open a subset registry window of only the elements that I select, the members I selected, or the other way around, the members that were not selected. There's no point on clicking this. If you want to insert, you just click, as he did, and insert. Don't bother clicking that.
Accept. Now it's inserted in there. Same image. Now I'm going to ask factors. Alright, you can press escape here, and so anything that's been clicked on, and as you can see, that's not.
Yeah, you can see by the border, so he will need to press escape at least twice, so the question and answer components that are HTML components are deselected.
Clicked on now, so if I press that, I guess it's selected. Escaping removes the selection after you've already. Well, when you're first creating it, it has these two uprights. So you're in here, press escape, and that leaves this one open, so then you can automatically start typing here.
Okay, or less complicated and agnostic to the order you do, you press A. A will select the answer, Q will select the question. Not necessarily. A will select the first component assigned to the answer. How do you know that? If you want to be precise. Do you see A and S? This stands for answer and is true. So this will be the component selected because it's the first one, by the order is the fourth, but it's the first one that is true for the answer. So this will be selected. If I had at least two, so another text component that also is mapped to the answer, like a fifth, it won't be selected, only the first one. And the same for the question. It's very likely that you only have one of each, but not limited. I know people who had like a notes kind of thing at the side, so that won't be selected. So if I press Q, this gets selected. Now I press escape and A, and the other gets selected. And for the sake of the example, I will add yet another text. Nice. A third field. Now, this will be the second question because it's not mapped to the answer. So if I press Q, it goes here. And now I will put it as the answer. So now I have two text components mapped to the answer. And I will go only to the first one. If I press A, I will go here. So if I delete this one now, no worries, it's a backup. I can mess this up. And I press A, voila, it goes there. Because now, in fact, is the first text component that goes, it's mapped to the answer. And when I say text, it's either, in fact, text or HTML, like this. So SuperMemo doesn't differentiate, for this, doesn't differentiate if it's HTML, if it's text, or the ancient rich text component that if you have used SuperMemo for, I don't know, many years, more than 15, you may have used those components.
You can also, like if you press escape and then I want to edit the question, I can press Q and it'll bring me up to the question. I can press the end key and then I'll be able to start typing there. Escape and then press A to go to the answer. Press the end button and then I'm going to the end there. So you can move around pretty quickly if you.
Okay, in case you use, that's a tip. In case you use a laptop and the laptop doesn't have the end and you have to use the FN key modifier and it's very awkward to type it in one hand or whatever, it's not ergonomic, there's an alternative you can. It requires just one extra. Let's use this one. So if I go to end, I go to the end of the line. Nice. But I could do the same by pressing down and left. And the keys are next to each other. So it's really simple. I will do it again. Down and left. Instead of, oh yeah, FN, page up, something like that, to compensate. It's what I do in my laptop.
You know these like the keyboard shortcuts. Also, if you're reviewing cards and you notice a problem in your question, you can just press the Q button right there.
Yep.
And it'll automatically take you to edit the question without showing you the answer, so you can edit it.
Exactly. You don't reveal the answer. You still have the opportunity to reformulate the question while you're thinking, you're making this process. And this is part of the learning, by the way.
And then press escape and continue on with answering the question. So that's kind of a nice little thing that I like to do when I'm going back and reviewing these cards. So yeah, what is it? It's 2, 7, 9, 10, 6. Okay. I actually just wrote a card with the reverse of this, as you can see right here.
Okay, so in this case, if you really want the reverse, I will do it using Ctrl-Shift-S. Let's follow this example. Let me do the screenshot because I don't trust my memory. Okay, so I just did the same card as here. What factors are limited by vitamin key deficiency? Factors 2, 7, 9, 10, C and S. Nice. Let's say I want to reverse. Ctrl-Shift-S. But before this, no, I don't want to change this. I want an extra element. So first I will duplicate it, Alt-D. Now, using the knowledge tree, I have a child that says duplicate. Nice. I can click or go Alt-Left. It looks the same. It happens like it did nothing, but because they look exactly the same. Now I press Ctrl-Shift-S. And this switches the text. This only works if you only have one text or HTML component mapped to the question, so the answer will be empty, and one HTML or text component mapped to the answer, so the answer field will be true. If you have more, this will break and it won't work. And then you just edit that. I did the switch, and then, okay, that's no longer a question. It will be factors limited by vitamin K deficiency. And now here is the question. Factors 27 blah 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 are the result of which deficiency? Oh, vitamin K. Let me actually see how he has the formulation. What molecule is necessary for the glycosylation of factors 2999? Okay. What molecule, blah, 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 factors, and this? Yeah, vitamin K. So depends, if you use question and answer, you will need to reformulate more than if you just use correlation. But at least if you do the swap, you don't have to copy and paste this, go here, adapt it, then go this, pam, 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 you save this on top of the list.
It's very glycosylation factors, whatever. And so, I'll have both of these, and one will be kind of a hint for the other. That's just a way for me to keep.
Yeah, because you're asking more or less the same fact, but from different directions, different perspectives. Because this is what molecule. You're not asking in this other card he has. You're not seeing the efficiency. Yeah, it's semantically the same question, but from a different perspective. A molecule, this molecule will be necessary for glycosylation, because if this doesn't happen, there will, as a consequence, there will be a deficiency.
To memorize them faster, or to keep them in my brain longer. So then I'm going to go ahead and press Alt-A, and it'll bring up a new one. And I'm going to go ahead and link it again. You could do Alt-D, which is duplicate. It's actually faster for me to just do this real quick than it is.
Yes, that's exactly what I done. I did the duplicate. What happens if you do the duplicate is that you will inherit the image component. And then you will need to change the text of the question and the answer. He wants an empty question and answer, so he prefers this. This is good as long as you know the name of the image. But to be honest, I prefer the other way around. Let's do it. So you have more or less the same thing, and it will be called like this, factors 299. Cool. So now I duplicate one, that's a duplicate, and now what is blah, 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 and the answer. So if I choose this manual approach instead of incremental reading, I will do it like this. Because it's a lot quicker to just press Q, Alt, A, and start typing what you want. Then you have to use the mouse, by the way, or I think it's Control T. Yeah, Control T several times, and then you need to go to the menu, and I think it's Control K, Control Shift K. And then factors, blah, blah, blah. You will need to search. So if I do it here, links, and then is factors, here it is. The more, let's say I have figure, I will have more to choose from. So I will need more time to select it. So that doesn't scale well with size, this approach. So my suggestion, as your collection grows, do it the other way around. Don't rely on this.
Just to go in, well, I'll show you the other way next time. It might not.
And if you really want this flow, what I will suggest, please import the reading material in SuperMemo and do incremental reading. He is not caring at all in priorities. There's a third video I see from him, and he never changed or set the priority or even see it, even take a glance what priority that is. He doesn't even show it in the interface. He's absolutely neglecting priorities.
Not be faster, because then you have to go back over here and reorganize them. But we'll see what happens. So this one,
no need to reorganize them as long as they are within the same category back in the day or concept group in today's SuperMemo, that's enough. Don't spend time making, oh, this should be the first one, sort of alphabetically, and so on. And on top of that, it's optional. So even if you don't differentiate organ systems from principles, neurology, pathology, and all of that, it's everything chaotically put there. It's fine. It's incremental reading. The knowledge tree is optional. Yes, there are some perks if you use it, but it's not required.
I'm gonna say what?
If you use incremental reading, creating flashcards is a lot quicker. You just have the text selection, make the resolution, and then adapt it incrementally. This is the pain. It's the same experience as Anki.
Sounds stupid, but
Manual input.
so now I'm gonna press. Oh, you already went. Press escape to get out of that stuff, and then press answer to move my selection to the answer key.
Yeah, escape A.
And deactivates.
And for the record, it's not the only one. Okay, so Q, I got the question, then escape and A. But I can also cycle with Control T. In this case, I have two images. So if I have the answer and I press Control T, I will go straight to the question without pressing escape and question and Q. But that depends on the actual sort. So now I will change it. And the answer will be the second one. Okay. So let's try it again. Question. Now it's the opposite. That means that now, if I press Ctrl T, I will go to the image component. Third component, fourth component, and again the first one. That means that if your template, usually it's like this, I'm assuming it will be like this. You have the two text components first. Then if you are editing the question and you press Ctrl T, you go straight to the answer. This is just fine tuning, it's just going to the nuisance, to the tiny details of SuperMemo.
Okay. Escape, and then now we can do Alt D. I'll show you how it works this way. And then
in this context, the escape wasn't needed. Alt D will have worked without escape.
Now I gotta go into the question, and then I guess I can select and highlight. I really didn't want to have to grab my mouse though. Oh, so I can do this, and then press what? Control S? Nope. Control
Shift S.
A? Yeah.
Oh,
Sweetness.
okay.
That'll be pretty quick actually. Let's do
How we know he did a duplicate? If you see the knowledge tree, it's not shown like my knowledge tree when I did it, but you see a plus icon. So now we know there's a child, and an element cannot have a child using incremental reading. A topic will have it, or a concept, but not an item. So that means that the user has done something manually. A duplicate has moved manually there, or something like this. Or in the title of the window, you have the name of the element. Well, if you just duplicate, you do nothing. You will still have the title says duplicate and colon. As soon as you edit something, and you will select escape, as soon as the text component loses the focus, the text will be updated, and you will use this duplicate. So you will not longer know that that was a duplicate, or the origin that you duplicated an item. Unless you rely on this convention that, okay, I know I do this for true and false. So whatever it's true or false, the one that is from the source, Then I create the duplicate as a child, and that will be the other way around. If it's true, will be the false statement. If it's false, will be in true. So I have the pair of true and false. And I will know that because one is child of the other. So anytime in the future that I see this, oh yeah, I did this. And perhaps that was half done because it's chaotic, it's incremental reading, I was doing something else, and I moved on. Oh yeah, it wasn't finished, but based on this hierarchy, I know it's this situation.
Okay, answer, Control A.
At least I know that Terrance is good with knowledge formulation, and that's precisely because he does everything manually. So he creates the questions from scratch. Something I noticed is that he doesn't bother to have the question mark.
Delete.
Semantically, it's the same because you know that if it starts with what is a question.
And I'll put in escape, Alt D to bring up the new one. Go to the question by pressing Q, Control A to select, delete,
Yep.
and then that's pretty cool.
And in the video, is what I did when he went to the image component, linked the image component manually. That's the flow. It makes a lot more sense.
Quick. I like that. It's pretty darn quick. Say what?
I have the impression like that he's doing this for now. He's realizing it's quicker. I don't know. And that's the beauty. I experience the same that, okay, I have my flow, I have done many things, and so on. And sometimes when I record, it's, hey, there's this fine detail that I never tried, but let me do it now for the sake of the video. I realize, shoot, this is easier, it's even better. So I have the genuine discovery while shooting the video. That means that if I will have not done the videos, it's likely I will have not discovered that. In other words, after making hundreds of videos in SuperMemo, that led me sometimes in improving my flow, improving my understanding of SuperMemo. So part of my expertise is by recording myself. And for the record, what you have seen in this video, in this channel, is not everything. There are more hours of footage that I have never released or even edited. It will be like learning in public kind of thing, or learning by teaching. I really hate the expression. This sort of thing that he now I think he experienced in this video. It's super cool.
I pressed escape and then A to go to the answer, then Control A to select, and then delete key, and
The delete key is not required. Okay, so I will press A, Control A, and now I start typing like hello. I don't need to press the delete. The any key, any letter I press will replace the string anyways.
escape, Alt D, question, Control A, delete.
I think that's an improvement from the first video I have seen from him when he shows SuperMemo and a slight comparison with Anki. That was every manual. He lost the template. He was clueless why the template was not applied, all of that. So at least now he experienced, I can really tell, he experienced less friction than before. Even though it's tedious to do everything manually.
Key, Probably don't have to do both of these like this. That's kind of goofy, but I'm going ahead and doing it. I should probably just be doing one type of question and not the forward and reverse of it. But I'm doing that. So,
Perhaps you won't do this right off the bat. You will do it in one direction. What molecules, blah, blah, blah. But if you fail this, you lapse that enough times that becomes a ledge or a semi-ledge. Is you know what? For redundancy, I will have the same question the other way around for supporting this. I'm glitching this. So let me get some help.
Alt D, A, delete. I can do a broad skin get in system via a number of things, lipids on their cell surface, and just all kinds of different ways. But your normal flora, your natural flora that's on your skin, does not try to evade the immune system. It kind of just lives there happily, and then if you get a cut, it can go in there. Now, if you have like an immune deficiency of some sort, you could get. They're like typically the only people that have problems with um, like getting infections or problems with natural floral bacteria. Um, but so, anyways, the natural flora will then activate the immune system. So if you get a cut, bad bacteria goes in there. More some coming down. Use it to let the skin to continue on. So Alt D. What disease? Delete. This is go to the question. The hang of it. One more, and then I'll stop.
He created like, I don't know, at least 10 already. The knowledge tree branch is collapsed, so no, and I lost count. But yeah, please try incremental reading if you can afford it within your time, within your deadlines. Or what I call the zero repetition incremental reading. It's a lot better than that. Yeah, you can even go faster.
So, okay, excuse me. So I'm done here because we did that.
Okay, finally. And what happens is that, yes, this is good enough. Every time you duplicate and you navigate to the child you duplicated, you will be nesting and nesting this. In SuperMemo 18 and older, there's a limit. I have forgot. Because I reported this back myself. Now I'm not sure. I think at the very least is 64 levels. Because just the indentation of 64 levels will exceed the maximum character count. Then it will actually depend on the title of the element. The longer the title, the sooner you will reach that limit. In SuperMemo 19, this was fixed. One of the bugs that I reported that was fixed because it was like a one line change. Well, but how many people will have this limitation? Not many. In case you don't want that, in case you want to avoid this, you use SuperMemo 18 or older. I have a video how to make the duplicate as a sibling. Yeah, it will become a child. But with some key bindings, really quickly, you put it as a sibling. So you don't have this error nesting hierarchy, in case you have this flaw. And again, I will never get tired of repeating the same. Incremental reading, please. Don't do this.
D is duplicates. So
Oh, no. He's manually... Don't waste the time for this. To manually move one by one so you have the flat hierarchy. If you really want this, okay, you can do it in bulk. Now, for the sake of the example, I will be duplicating. You have I have a bunch of a child, I select the first one. I open this with the browser, Control space. Then, process browser, move to a branch. And I select the exact same branch or the parent. In this case, let's do the parent. Now in that case, I will select the first element. So I'm compliant with my convention. All of the duplicates will be a child. And now, I know that all of those are children of this. So I use the duplicate. I won't see the duplicate as soon as I edit, but I won't do it now. And I will change the question. And this is now flat. There's no need to go one by one manually, pam, pam, pam. And it's even prone to errors that you move it to the topic that is on top or below the knowledge tree. And even after that, the knowledge tree is optional. So instead of a flat hierarchy, you have a nested hierarchy. What's the big deal about it? Doesn't make much difference. It's time. You're investing with this. Time. You're not reading or learning something else. And if you're a medical student, your time is gold and very limited.
If this was written in C#, gosh, I would be so happy.
Yes, he doesn't know that what I just mentioned, so he's doing this manually, leading to added friction.
No idea. All right, so done. Go ahead and close this and do file, repair. It's just how I close down.
Another example, he's manually clicking off the boxes. You just can click detail and we'll have the same effect. Unless you really want lexicon, by the way.
Actually, normally I do a copy first, file, copy. As you can see, I'm on my 211th copy of this.
Oh my god, 200 backups. Imagine a big collection like mine. I think I won't have, now I do, because I reduce dramatically the size. But before, I think I could not have 200 copies of my collection in one hard drive.
So there we go. And then I'll do file, repair.
So first, click detailed, and don't click rebuild the lexicon. That's a huge overkill. And in his case, I know from other videos that every single day or every single session when he finish his session, he does the repair. So he's building the lexicon every single day. For what? It's very rare that you will use the lexicon. You will have so many false positives. At the end of the day, lexicon is marginally useful. And he's building it every single time. Instead of this, you just need less clicks. Control F12 and detailed. As easy as that.
And I'll close it down.
Okay, in his case, because the collection is very tiny, it copies in 3 seconds or so. In my case, I will, not now, but before I did the major deletion, I needed about 3 hours because I had hundreds of thousands of little files. More than 500,000 files, by the way.
Maybe I can explain a couple things real quick right here too. So you see this how it says rebuilding.
Yeah, super fast because it's 900. But it's good to know what he said because as your collection grows, especially, he doesn't have topics. If you have topics, the lexicon will be super slow to build because it will parse every single word in every single topic. So just a few Wikipedia articles will have thousands of entries already in the lexicon. And if you have HTML, there will be a lot of noise with weird strings that are never in the body of the text, are just behind the curtains, let's say. of the code that is not rendered. So long story short, do not build a lexicon. Unless it's like, if you really want, and it's like him, you only have items, so and in this case he has plain text. Because even if it's an HTML component, he doesn't have any styling. So SuperMemo will save it as plain text. It will only exist as text in the text registry, not as HTML file. So it will be really quick to do. But if you use incremental reading, don't use lexicon. Feel free time to time, once a year, to build it, and let's see, what's the most frequent words and so on. But you cannot distinguish what was used in items and topics. It defeats its own purpose. If you really want, make a backup. Delete everything but your items. Once you only have the items, build a lexicon. And you will know the lexicon of only your items. And your images. And your sources. But well, it's better than the default. It will be nice to notice if you are overusing a word in your items and stuff like this.
Text registry, and it says 1757 and an 1866 member file. What this means is that
that's what he mentioned in the first video I reacted. The slight comparison with Anki.
Actually, I'll come back and explain this in another video. My next video.
That's the video I first reacted
Alright,
to.
thanks guys for watching, and good luck studying.
My pleasure watching this video. Let's see the comments. Hey man, whatever happened to you? Love your videos. Let me drop a like. Hi Terrance, are you still using SuperMemo? In the other video, that the comment was 5 years ago. He said no. Let me see. There is a small SuperMemo Google group. Yes, it was dead when I started SuperMemo, by the way. I will make a new video in the coming weeks describing my experience through medical school with speech recognition. I think he means speech repetition software. In short, it has been a while since I last used it. So he doesn't reply to the answer. But based on the description, it's implicitly yes, he was still using it 8 years ago. Do you know any user of the forum groups? I'm assuming yes, he was present. I have been using it for about a year. I think there's a lot I do like about it. I do use incremental reading, yeah. Terrance does not. For the Wikipedia articles, yeah, it's very classic. It's a very good way to start incremental reading because Wikipedia is very well structured. It's very incrementally friendly because sections can be read in isolation without reading the previous one, all of that. Very self-contained. I like that I can extract key ideas, not otherwise schedule a convenient time to reread. This just seems to be no SuperMemo community. Then Rush, 4 years ago when I started, can I see the exact date? Nice. You remember my very first video in this channel is with him. Really late. Well, I'm later, no worries. But for anyone looking at this video, I think Discord is the largest SuperMemo community now. Yes, and today holds true. Then, 10 years ago, I have not. Is he replying to something? To someone? I actually cannot stand incremental reading as of now. Oh, nice. He's not using incremental reading, not because he doesn't know how to, or he hasn't started yet. Is that he doesn't like it. He cannot stand it. I do not fully understand it yet. Okay? So when I try to use it, I end up with all kind of notes all over the place. I am neurotic about having my notes organized. Yeah. Very classic example. That, yeah, I want to know, let's treat like he did, that I want to move all of the duplicates so the hierarchy is flat, all of this. But hey, it's just a knowledge tree. What is important is what is in your memory, in your brain, not how it is in the app. And to simplify, most of the time, this is a bad habit acquired at school. So for medical students who heavily rely on the school methods, multiple choice questions, and cramming. They are very prone to this. It's a pity. I know he moved on from SuperMemo, but now that he no longer has to study in university, it will be nice if he does incremental reading for whatever he wants to, not related to medicine. Could be history, I don't know, biology or programming, whatever that can be. OneNote can export to a Word file or PDF, which could then be imported into SuperMemo. I never tried OneNote. I know it's built in Microsoft Windows, but I never tried. Until I have lots of time to figure out incremental reading, I will not be using it. I would have loved to put the first aid, a large PDF book, into Super SS. I guess it's SuperMemo. I'm not sure. Just does not work. Help. Yeah, that is what I would have suggested. Not to use incremental reading. The zero repetition incremental reading. So you use the features of extract and resolution, but you are bypassing everything else. Absolutely everything else. It will be a lot better for him, for his own flow. Rush again, and for years. I may assume it will be the first day, as that is common. Rush says, I think the best way to learn incremental reading is via the big test here. Yes. I actually reacted to the video as well. That you import the incremental learning manual or the step-by-step. Let me check. Well, it's here. You start with the ABC learning, the big picture, and then you go to this article. That's the one I meant. Feel free to check out my reaction video. Besides this, I think joining the Discord community and being able to get help also is very useful, since there is a lot of really frustrating things when you start. Absolutely. That's why in Discord we have, among the general channels, you have the SM questions, when you can ask the questions that, hey, I don't know how to do this, how to know that. And usually I see these very often, and most of the questions I answer myself. And regardless of that, it's not just the hard questions for the hard, the opposite of soft, not easy. That, hey, how I do this, how I do the subset, how I do the templates, is just the soft. That, hey, how do I learn? How do I read the book? And how do I organize my learning? And let me thumbs up to Rush, and Rush here. Yeah, moral of the story. Please use incremental reading, even if your flow is not incremental reading per se, but the rule of thumb is pleasure. As in the name of the channel, by the way. If incremental reading, just the basics, it's giving you a lot of friction, because you have this neurotic, it's not the right word, neurotic, or OCD, or you know what I mean. That, it's triggering you a lot. Just do the basics. This will be better than nothing. And very incrementally, hey, you know what? For now on, I will not do the rearrangement of the hierarchy. I will leave it like that, so it won't be flattened. Once you get used to it, a little something, step by step, incrementally. Perhaps instead of 40 hours, like I did, you will need more time. But you will reach the same point. For you. So this point will be different for everyone. And now my point is simpler than ever, because I don't do templates. I only have one template of each. I have my conventions for the knowledge tree, so I know the reason why I did that, and I don't care how it is, if it looks weird. I don't have hierarchy now with concepts and a lot of stuff. That the message is this. Simple. Simple or oversimplified is not the same. But if it's oversimplified, it's still better than nothing if you move on. And just read from the PDF, do the highlight, and forget. And be a victim of forgetting. Those are my 2 cents in 2024. Let me know if this has been useful, your thoughts, and see you incrementally.